Welcome to The Explainer. I am so incredibly pumped to dive into a topic today that affects millions of us, but honestly is understood by very few. Here's the hard truth right out of the gate. If you're only paying the minimum on your credit card every month, you aren't actually paying off your debt. You're just renting it. And the worst part about this setup, that rent never, ever stops. So today, we are pulling back the curtain. We're exposing exactly how much that hidden cost really is. We'll break down the math, and most importantly, we're going to show you exactly how to escape it.
Just think about this for a second. A perfectly reasonable $5,000 purchase can quietly, and I mean mercilessly, balloon into a devastating $12,000 total cost. No way, right? But this isn't an exaggeration at all. It's standard operating procedure for the credit industry, and it catches almost everyone completely off guard until it's way too late to fix without some serious financial pain.
Okay, let's look at how this actually happens in the real world. Imagine you go out and buy a brand new, top-of-the-line laptop for $5,000. You put it on a credit card. Pretty normal purchase, right? Now, let's say your card has an 18% annual interest rate. And as a quick aside, that 18% might sound kind of high, but it's actually low compared to the current U.S. national average. So you obviously can't drop the whole $5,000 right away.
So you do exactly what the bank conveniently suggests you do. You pay the minimum. This minimum payment is usually calculated at around 2 to 3% of your total balance. In our laptop scenario, that comes out to exactly $125. It feels totally manageable, doesn't it? You feel like you're being responsible, staying on top of your finances. But you know what? That feeling of safety is precisely the trap.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what the banks intentionally do not put in bold letters on your monthly statement. Your minimum payment is mathematically formulated to cover that month's interest, plus just a tiny, microscopic sliver of your actual original balance. You are barely even touching the actual debt of the laptop itself.
And watch how this mathematical trap builds over the years, because this is where the math gets genuinely staggering. At that 18% interest rate, if you only pay that minimum of $125 a month, it will take you an agonizing 30 years to finally clear the balance of that laptop. 30 years! I mean, by the time you finish paying for this thing, it will literally belong in a museum, but you'll still be sending the bank a check for it.
Let's break down the numbers over those 3 decades. The initial laptop, the principal, was $5,000, but the bank's cut $7,000 purely in interest. That means your total out-of-pocket expense is $12,000. You don't just pay a little extra for the convenience of using credit, you are paying almost 1.5 times the laptop's original cost purely in interest. It's wild.
Section 2. The behavioral trap. Why willpower isn't the real issue.
Now, you might be sitting there looking at these numbers and thinking, well, obviously this is just about discipline. Just pay more than the minimum, problem solved. And mathematically, you're 100% right. But credit card companies use highly sophisticated psychology to stop you from doing exactly that. Behavioral economists have a specific term for this trick: anchoring. Basically, your brain treats a default number presented to you as the correct or recommended one. The whole credit card statement system is literally rigged against our human default programming. It's built from the ground up to make that minimum payment feel incredibly safe, standard, and appropriate.
Every single month, banks frame this as the responsible amount. It's usually printed right there in friendly green text, like a polite suggestion from an old friend. But the mathematical reality? Paying that amount is the absolute worst possible option for your financial health. They anchor your brain to a number that, frankly, ruins your long-term wealth.
Okay, let's dive into this and see how this builds in Section 3, the real math, visualized, how your monthly payment changes your future.
Let's see how much power you actually have by comparing 3 completely different people tackling that exact same $5,000 laptop debt. Person 1 pays the minimum. We already know how that tragedy ends. It stretches out for 30 years and costs a massive $12,000. Now look at person 2. They paid $200 a month instead of the minimum. Boom! They are entirely debt-free in about 2.5 years, and their total cost drops to just $5,800. Finally, person 3 pays $400 a month. They are completely debt-free in just over a single year, paying only $5,300 total.
Think about that. Same debt, same exact interest rate. Literally, the only difference in these 3 scenarios is the size of the monthly payment. That single solitary variable changes the outcome by decades of time and thousands upon thousands of dollars. It's almost unbelievable until you actually see the math visually laid out right in front of you like this.
But here's where the situation compounds in a different, much scarier way. The average person carrying credit card debt doesn't just have one card. They usually have more than 3 credit cards. So this means this exact same devastating mathematical trap isn't just happening once, it's happening in parallel. It's multiplying. It is draining your wealth across multiple balances and multiple interest rates all at the exact same time.
There's a quote here that just hits the nail on the head regarding the insidious psychology at play. It doesn't feel like one big problem. It feels like 5 small, manageable ones. That's what makes it so easy to ignore. That is exactly how the compounding effect slowly drains your wealth. It never sounds a massive alarm. It just quietly drips away your financial future, month by month.
Section 4. Breaking the debt cycle, the actionable mathematical solution.
All right, it's time to pivot away from the problem and focus purely on the solution. I am thrilled to present this clear, mathematically proven survival guide to break you right out of the systemic cycle. Here are the 3 specific steps that actually work, presented in order of their mathematical impact, to finally slay this debt monster. Step 1. Pay more than the minimum. Step 2. Target the highest interest, also known as the avalanche method. And Step 3. Execute a balance transfer. Let's break these down real quick so you can put them into action immediately.
For step 1, literally even an extra $50 a month fundamentally flips the math so compound interest starts working for you instead of against you. For step 2, the avalanche method. You absolutely must target the highest interest rate debt first. Why the avalanche? Because mathematically it saves you the absolute most money. Now I know human emotion often prefers the quick win of paying off a smaller balance first. It feels good. But we are letting the unfeeling, rigorous math guide us today.
Now for step 3, pausing the bleeding. If you qualify, executing a balance transfer to move your high-interest debt to a 0 or low-interest card is like hitting a massive pause button. The incredible benefit here is that 100% of your monthly payment suddenly bypasses the interest entirely and hits the principal directly, shrinking your actual debt super fast. But, and this is a huge but, here's the critical warning. You've got to keep a really sharp eye out for hidden transfer fees, and you have to know exactly when that expiring promotional period ends, or you're going to end up right back in the trap.
So bringing it all together, the minimum payment is engineered specifically to create a highly profitable, never-ending relationship for the bank. It is absolutely not a safety net for you. Break the machine with smart, intentional payments. Honestly, the fix isn't that complicated once you step back and realize how the whole system actually works.
Which leads us to the end of our explainer today. And I want to leave you with this final, really provocative thought. Who is your minimum payment really protecting? Is it protecting your financial future, or is it protecting the bank's bottom line? Our whole mission here is to break down these complicated financial systems in plain language so you can take your power back. Thank you so much for being a focused learner with us today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.